Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Derek Lawson's Level Up Travel. You know I love to talk about points, miles, rewards, credit cards in general. I love to talk about cash back. I love to talk about the programs, like the hotel programs, the airline programs, and the credit card programs. And I love to talk about cash back. Today, I want to talk about the CapitalOne program, and there's 10 things I think you might not know. I'm sure there's some things you do know, but if you're totally naive to CapitalOne and thinking about a credit card, this is 10 things that you might not know about CapitalOne, and these are pretty much the positives, okay? So let's start right away. There's a rumor out there, and let's get the elephant out of the room because I get this question asked all the time. How many credit cards could I get with CapitalOne? A lot of the rumor is that you can only get 2. It's false, and I will show you. This is my account. I took a picture of it just so I can black out those the last 4 digits of the credit cards, but I have currently 4, okay? So I can have 4. You'll notice it was Adventure X, Saver 1, Quicksilver, and Venture 1. It's not any store cards or anything like that. It's actually their branded, CapitalOne branded credit cards, not, store credit card, okay? They're all ones that are either cash back or earning CapitalOne miles. So that, I hope that dispels the myth. I have multiple people also on multiple chats saying they have more than 2 CapitalOne credit cards. You can get it. The one rule I will tell you about with CapitalOne is that 6 months between CapitalOne cards being open, you have to wait 6 months. That doesn't mean if you get a Chase or American Express that has anything to do with the rule. It has nothing to do with the rule. Only CapitalOne cards. I'll give an example. I get a Venture X card. Today, I have to wait 6 months if I want to get the Saver 1 card or a Saver card or a Quicksilver card or a Venture card or a Venture 1 card, okay? That's really it. It's a really simple way to look at it. Space it out 6 months. I've been denied if I tried in 5 months, honestly, in 3 months or whatever. I tried it before, always get denied. I've heard about the rule. The rule is legit. On 6 month, the day of 6 months, I've applied and got it. So after trying, actually the last time I had a Venture card, then they came out with the Venture X card, and it wasn't quite, when it came out, it was like 4 months into my into me having the Venture card, the regular Venture card, and I tried for the Venture X, they wouldn't let me get it. As soon as 6 months hit, I applied for it, got it. So that's rule number 1, or point number 1, these 10 points about CapitalOne. Point number two, points are instant after pending. So you make a purchase, obviously it goes to pending. As soon as it comes out of pending, the purchase becomes a real purchase. You get your points. A lot of times that day, sometimes it will come just before it actually becomes a real charge even. And sometimes it will come like the day after, but it comes really, really fast, okay? You don't have to wait for the statement credit, and definitely don't have to wait for it. Statements have nothing to do with you getting your points, which is really cool because a lot of times there could be some advantages. Maybe you're trying to get a certain award, you don't have quite enough points, you can make a purchase maybe a little bit earlier than you normally would, or maybe you say you have rent or something, you can make 3 months purchase of rent to get a certain amount of points because you have to do it anyway, but you need the points now because you want to do a redemption. Yeah, then you'll get those points instantly instead of having to wait for for the points to hit on your next statement. So I think it's a really great thing and something that's underrated from CapitalOne. So that's the thing, that their points come really quick. Don't have to wait for statement. And also cashback, same thing. You don't have to wait for the statement, the actual statement for your points to come. Okay. Then point number 3. Purchase a ratio or cash back. You don't need to have any minimum. 1 penny or 1 mile, which would equal a penny, you can redeem at any point or as much as you want. So yeah, it's no problem on that. There is no minimum, and that is kind of nice. It comes to play because some credit cards, I think like Bank of America makes you get to like $25, or there's other cards too. I think one of my U.S. bank cards makes me get to $25 to get cash back. So this is kind of cool that they just let you do it at any point for any amount. So that's really great. Point number 4, okay, so it's about transferring points out. Now you do need to have 1,000 point minimum to transfer out to a partner, but after that you can do it in increments of 100. So you can do 1,100, you can do 21,200, stuff like that. Any increments. You can do 1,900, right? 1,800, 1,700, whatever. You can do increments 100 after you hit the 1,000. American Express, I know, makes you do it only in increments of 1,000. And that could be just wasted points if you only need, say, 1,500 points and you have to transfer over 2,000 points, and then you have 500 just going to sit there in limbo in a program that you may use in the future and you may not. So it kind of just becomes waste, which kind of stinks. So that's really cool that they do increments of 100, less waste. So I think it's a nice advantage for Capital One when you're transferring points out. Point number 5, no credit checks when you're doing a credit line increase. So if you say you have a $10,000 limit on one of your cards, or a $1,000 limit, whatever it might be, you ask for a credit line increase, you put your income down, and they'll go off the history they have and your income, and possibly your original credit, your credit score that they know you have, because they just always have it on the system with one of their partners. But they don't do a soft pull or a hard pull, nothing. They just go off what they have on you already, and they'll award or decline you on the credit. I do this all the time because there's no problem. It doesn't ever hit you on a soft pull or a hard pull. So I do it all the time. Sometimes I get approved, sometimes I don't. Most of the times I don't get approved, but the one time is awesome when you do get approved. So that is one of the things. Because I go for it all the time. I'll do it like once a week, maybe sometimes more. So anyway, that is point number 5. So number 6, product switches are available. You can switch, but the only thing about it is not always on your terms. I'll just give you an example of, I had a Venture card while I had the Venture X card. So once I got the Venture X card, I had the Venture regular Venture card for only about 6 months. I was like, man, I don't need this card anymore. Really, I got the sign-up bonus, so I want to product switch down, right? They will not let you product switch down until you pay that next annual fee. So you originally, when you first get the card, you have to pay the $95 annual fee on that, for an example. Then they after the year hit, your anniversary, you pay another $95. Then you can a lot of times they'll let you product switch, and it will be on their terms. It won't always be the one you want. You might want to go to the Saver One, but you can't. They'll only offer you the Quicksilver or the Venture One in that situation. But at the same time, it is cool for long term. You get to now get out of the $95 annual fee, keep the credit line. And I actually did that a few times, and I think it's worth it. Instead of canceling the card over the $95 annual fee, I want that card. It is good for the length of my credit. Keeping it now or a no annual fee also helps my credit utilization. So I like having it. They really don't let you, by the way, transfer credit between cards. So if you have like a $10,000 credit on one, $1,000 credit on another, you can't make them both like $5,500, right? Or just move even like 2,000 to the other one. Well, they won't let you do it. They used to. They don't anymore. So anyway, that was point number 6. Number 7, no foreign transaction fees on any card. This is kind of unique to the system. One, they're all Visa and MasterCards, and then they're all no foreign transaction fees. So that's fantastic. Combinations we've talked about in the past, like the Venture X and the Saver One, no foreign transaction fees on any of the cards. You can use them freely, not just in the United States, but abroad when you're traveling. Fantastic. If you have the trifecta, the no annual fee Capital One trifecta that earns Capital One miles, is the Venture One, the Quicksilver, and the Saver One. I actually have that one. I have both combinations actually. Don't you really use a second combination because I have the Venture X one, and you don't really need the other two, but again, it's nice to have your credit history and all that stuff. But all of those cards do not have foreign transaction fees. Even the Capital One Platinum card that doesn't earn anything, right? It doesn't earn any points. It's like an entry card with them. It still has no foreign transaction fees, which makes it advantageous. And all the Capital One cards for when you leave. Let's just say Chase, they have trifectas and stuff like that, and you know, one of them would be the Freedom Flex, the Freedom Limited, and one of either the Chase Sapphire Reserve or Preferred. Only the Sapphire Preferred and Reserve have no foreign transaction fees. The other ones don't. You can't use them abroad and not get charged a fee. So this is kind of cool with the Capital One, that none of them have foreign transaction fees. Point number 8 now: transfer cash back rewards to Capital One miles. So this is very important for the points I've made, that these are great combination cards. The Venture X and Saver One card, I think, is a great combination, and you can just transfer the Saver One cash back to the Capital One miles in the Venture X with, and it's a one-to-one thing. So 1 penny equals 1 mile, and that's fantastic. And there's no limit or minimum you can need to transfer. You just do it. In my other, the trifecta, same thing. You can move them all to the Venture One card, the Saver, from the Saver One card or the Quicksilver, move them all to the Venture card and get boosted value. And an example of boosted value, what I'm talking about, is you can transfer out to a partner and get 5 cents per point or 10 cents a point, which I did. It was exact amounts on 2 award tickets going back and forth from Europe this summer. So fantastic there. So I got a whole bunch more than 1 penny a point because I was able to transfer those points out from my Saver One to my Venture X. A lot of them were earned my Venture X, but some of them were earned from my Saver One. So really cool thing there. Then let's see. Oh, one more point on that. You can't go from the Venture X or Capital One miles and then move them back to cash back. It only can go between Capital One earning cards. So my Venture One and Venture X, I can interchange back and forth all I want. The Saver One, I can move it to my Venture X or my Venture One, but I can't move my Venture One or Venture X points over to my Saver One. So that comes in play. If you ever move your cash back from a Saver One, you can't move it back, okay? So that's a point there. So let's go to now point number 9. Pay your account and get your credit line instantly restored. Say if you have $10,000 and you need to make a $10,000 purchase, right? But you have an $800 bill right now, or you've used $800 of credit. So really now you only have $9,200 in credit, but you're trying to make a $10,000 purchase, right? On a credit card that does have a $10,000 limit. So you can pay it right now and it will say, whoop, right to $10,000, and then you can make a purchase. I've actually done it in front of a merchant, a very similar thing where it was like exactly pretty much that amount, and made a purchase right away by moving, by paying my bill and getting an instant credit line restored, and was able to make that purchase. So really nice feature there for Capital One. Bravo. Point number 10, Capital One has tons of transfer partners. I think they've done it, almost every single partner they've had, which is kind of unique. Usually it's like only certain ones. But yeah, they've done it on almost all of them, including those hotel programs, different ones. I've even seen it on Wyndham Rewards. So really, really cool. I think they've done it again on all of them. They constantly will be doing it with Life Mile, which is a really important one. They just had one with Avios, really top partners that they do have. Virgin Atlantic too, I've seen it with them. Really top partners that you can get transfer bonuses there, and that makes their points more valuable. So that's the top 10, or the 10 points that I think you need to know about Capital One. This might be, you might be a person that has a Capital One card or one that is thinking about it. These are really positive things for Capital One. There are some negative things, but this is more of a positive video on it. So those are the top things. Is there anything else that you guys know about Capital One that I haven't covered that maybe people need to know? Put that down in the comments below, or if you can verify some of the points that I've made in the past, put it in the comments down below. But that's really the video, guys. So please like the video. Please give it a thumbs up, especially if you're here right now. Also subscribe to the channel, of course, and hit that bell notification. So every time I do come out with a video, you'll be the first to know. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.